Hello, Tark, our friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was Max Effort Bench Press Day. We didn't get a PR, but we tried to. So, you guys know the rules. For those of you who enjoy watching these every day, please click the like down below before we get to the PR attempt. That's the rules. Reach down there, click it. Keep the likes higher than the dislikes. Thank you so much. Now let's get over to the lifting. This is the same chain weight. I started scaling back down. I peaked all the way up and then came down. And actually last time I tried this chain weight of 77 pounds, we got a PR, right? Did 285 plus this chain weight. Now, that's honestly a pretty good ways off from where I really need my bench to be, which is one reason I'm bench specializing as my highest priority. Now, of course, people are laughing like your squat is climbing the highest. I'm like, I know, and that's why it's the lowest priority for me. Okay, I'm built to squat. Squatting comes easy to me. I'm not built to bench press. So bench is the highest priority, deadlift behind it, then squat third right now. So we have 2 days dedicated to nothing but bench accessories. Actually, technically every other day. I'm not even on a 4-day split anymore. So the 275 went up easy. So instead of trying the 285 again, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and do 295 plus these chains. I'm not even upset that I missed it. I'm a little bothered that I missed it halfway. And I actually took screenshots to see and figure out how much chain weight stopped me and everything else. And, you know, it's not perfect. It's not good. Not where I want it to be. And I felt delt weakness as normal. Felt delt weakness. So we have to keep hammering the delts. We know they're my weak link. But something else I've had to look at, we know we have to get the volume right on the supplemental work. And I've reached a point where, yes, I need a little more pressing volume than other stuff. I can't overdo the pressing volume, especially with this frequency. What I can do is the smaller exercises, right? We can get away with shoulder exercises. Pressing, I'm going to have to reel it in. I feel like 8 really good sets of supplemental presses, of quality sets. Every pressing session should work. Keep in mind that's every 2 days. So in a worst case, that's 24 sets of supplemental presses outside of the maxes. Then smaller movements for delts and triceps. Okay, so all this is a ton of volume. So, like I said last time, I felt like the axle bar is really impeding my progress on the floor press. Especially when I'm trying to get stronger. It's just too awkward. I love it. I'm going to keep using it for overhead pressing because I think it's phenomenal. I love the tricep activation. I went ahead and used it for my incline today too. So I think that's the way we're going to go. We're going to do floor press, and I'm going to keep going where I alternate incline one workout and then overhead press the other. And I want to focus on quality volume on those, right? The floor press here, if you guys notice, I'm able to get sets of 10 now with a little more than I can do with the other. I got a bunch of sets of 10 with 230 on a close grip floor press. Now, that's not super impressive, but considering I'm a mid 300s at best bench presser, that's okay. Okay, we need to get that higher. People are going to say, what are your goals? Let me tell you my goals. I've set them. I set them on my private Facebook. All the coaches know it. All my coach friends know my goals. 600 squat, 375 bench, 650 deadlift for this year. And then I want to trim down and lose a little fat. When I get to a 600 squat, I'll go ahead and drop a little bit of body fat. All right, we'll do a little mini cut, whatever we need to do. Trim some fluff off. I need to get to that 600 squat. I need to keep that strength holding constant. Then we'll trim down a bit. And I think that's reasonable. And I feel like the 600 squat will probably be the first of these goals that I reach. So I'm having a look at the sort of volumes I'm doing, and we've got to dial this in with this training. We've got to dial it in. And by the way, I felt like had I just gone with my old 10-pound lighter, I would have got that press, but it was only 8 days ago. But we've got to get the supplemental work dialed in. So these floor presses are going to be a high priority for me. And I feel like they're all chest now. Now that that bar is gone, I don't have to deal with any of the grip, the imbalance. It's all pec, and then obviously a bit of tricep. I feel a fair amount of tricep on them though, but it is very pec dominant for me, in spite of it being close grip. A lot of people don't think of this that way, but if you look at the data, it actually does more chest than bench press, arguably. So this is going to be a big supplemental lift, a big builder for my bench, okay? Especially with me being a close grip bencher, this super strict floor press is going to really help me get power out of the bottom. Problem is that I can't follow through with my delts. So we need supplemental delt pressing and smaller movements every workout. So that's what I'm going to do. That still gives the delts a higher priority, because some people would say, well, if this is more chest dominant, how are your delts getting priority? Well, my delts are getting more volume. Now keep in mind, a close grip floor press uses a lot of anterior deltoid. This is not skipping delts. Not skipping delts. But up next, each workout, we're going to do an incline bench alternated with an overhead press. Okay, that's going to make sure my delts get a lot of work. And as a closed grip bencher, I do need to make sure my delts and triceps are overdeveloped. And we know that delts are in general a weak link for me. I'm going to have to throw a ton of volume at them. And it's like I've said before, what's my problem? Historically, my delts get pretty strong for overhead pressing off singles. My delts just don't grow from low reps and heavy tension. They seem to need volume. And it's not uncommon. Like, I'm not rare there. There's quite a bit of data I've seen. Even Dr. Mike and guys say, look, delts seem to be resistant to volume. They have a very, very high minimum effective volume, but they tend to be able to handle enormous amounts of volume. So that's what we're doing. We're doing all this pressing. I do 10 by 10 pendlay rows every lower body workout. That ends up being 30 sets a week. So my rear delts are pretty well handled. This is going to make sure my front delts get plenty of work. Okay, because we're doing these every other day. I decided to go ahead and do higher reps. I wanted to use the axle bar. And you know what? The axle bar felt really good on incline. You know how I said it feels good on the overhead? I'm like, this feels in certain ways, it feels better than the Olympic bar, right? And I said I suspect incline's going to feel nice. It did. This felt like a very natural movement, right? This didn't feel forced. It feels very natural. I felt a lot of front delt. I felt the chest. Very front delt dominant though. But I still felt that tricep. And I don't normally feel my tricep so much with a closed grip incline. I feel them more on with this axle bar. But that's kind of the point. A lot of people have noted that. The axle bar just seems to make you engage triceps a little bit harder. And it probably has to do with the radiant effect dealing with the fatter bar and trying to grip it, than it being arm involved. So I went ahead and I got 15 on the first 2 sets. I think I got 13 on the last one. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do a little more reps. I'm just going to do 3 sets. All right, this second press each day, 3 really good sets. Now, people say, well, I can't do that much. Well, when you're doing it every 48 hours, it does. Especially as having done a max press, 5 sets of floor press, then we do this. But I'm going to keep the reps a little higher on this. Why? My delts need it. Delts need it. Go ahead and do some limit sets. I'm going to give them above 10. I may take them back down to 10. I want to make sure I'm getting a lot of volume. Delts are very rep and volume resistant. They really are. And so just like I'm willing to do things like my good mornings the same way, right? I focus on a lot of 10s on my primary movements, glute bridges, hip thrusts, all that stuff, right? My primary accessories. I'm taking good mornings up to higher reps. We can't be afraid of this stuff. It seems to be helping. You know, my squatting and deadlifting are coming along. So let's go ahead and do some 12s, 15s, things like that for some of this stuff. All right, let's take the reps up a bit and see if it helps. Suspecting it will, because I don't normally do this stuff, and those areas are lagging. You know, worst case, I get bigger delts and a bigger upper chest. Okay, why does that matter? It's still support musculature for my bench. Gives me more stable shoulders. Well, I need that. I need that. My delts are a weak link, and I have to do whatever it takes to bring those delts up. So yeah, I'm going to do three different rep ranges for them. That's fine. I'll deal with it. It's a major weak link. It's not like my quads. My quads grow off anything. I got monster quads. They don't care. All right, these are my weak points. My weak points are going to have to be attacked from every angle possible. And that's the thing. People say, what about strong points? Would it be the same? No, because your strong points just grow from anything. And in my experience, it doesn't matter what rep ranges are mixing or anything. My genetic strong points. They'll grow no matter what I do. Delts not so much. So then these are around 20 to failure. Doing this, what I've decided to do now with the chest supported here, at an angle, so that I can keep my thumbs up and try to keep from clutching the glenoid. And it's working so far. My shoulders feel good. I'm really, really feeling that side delt and some trap. Definitely working the upper trap. Feeling that side delt, but keep in mind the laterals like this are going to work the rear and the front too. So really we're making sure that we are fully attacking the entire shoulder girdle. Now the upside, because I'm not throwing extraneous pressing in here, I'm probably right at what's going to be my ideal volumes for pressing, and it's a lot. I think people have to remember that, like when you're ramping to a max and doing 8 lifts, that's a pretty high amount of volume, but it's not insane. Keep in mind the frequency, that's 3 or 4 times every week. It does turn into a lot. But the delts can handle a lot more, so this extra 5 sets here, it's really going to add up. Now that we're really getting that muscle hit directly, I think we're going to see some delt growth happening. Absolutely going to see delt growth happening. So this is going to be my plan of attack, and I think it's going to work. And it's going to take a little bit, guys. Some guys are going to be like, well, your bench jump, it didn't jump this time. No, it didn't jump this time. But the last time was a PR. I tried to PR off that same thing twice. All right, that's probably asking a bit much. We're going to have to take it as we come. And in all honesty, the sort of bench I'm looking at hitting this year, I mean, I basically got a PR 10 pounds 4 different times through the year, or 5 pounds 8 times. Okay, I don't have to add 5 pounds every month to my bench to do that. So I'm going to take PRs where I can get them. So what I'm going to do is just keep focusing on straining, keep hitting the heavy chain and band work for the maxes, do all this supplemental work, make sure the 2 possible weak links in my bench as far as the movement pattern are addressed regarding hypertrophy and strength. Hammer a ton of recoverable volume on my weak points. Keep moving forward, but it's going to be slower. The bench is going to be the hardest one of my goals to reach. That's why I'm putting more focus on it than the others. It is going to be the hardest to reach. And I know that sounds crazy. A lot of people are like, a 375 squat or bench is harder to reach than a 600 squat. Yeah, for me it is. For a lot of people, that's ludicrous. Because we know some other YouTubers who are 500 lifetime benchers who are in that range, right? Or sorry, 500 squatters. They're out there. I'm not built to bench. Now, if I fix my weak links and overdevelop the right muscles, my bench might fly past that. But it's going to take time. I'm going to have to put in a ton of work into the areas that I've neglected. I'm going to have to put in a ton of work. And it isn't going to happen overnight. I'm going to have to be consistent. And that just is what it is. And then I finished off with, instead of 1 set of these, I did 3 sets. Why? I want to make sure that I get a lot of extra workload just for the triceps with stuff that we can recover from. I want to keep my tendons healthy. We could argue all day long about it, how much hypertrophy from this is permanent. But keep in mind, we do have an overspeed eccentric. Yes, it is very, very high reps. We're up around 40 reps a set, something in that range to failure. We're getting an overspeed eccentric. It's a lot of tendon training. A lot of tendon training. Because that's what I want. I want to make sure that my tendons are resistant. So everything around the elbow. So I'm doing biceps and tricep this way. Of course, same thing with low back. It's one reason I'm doing the high rep good mornings. I want to build connective tissue to keep me injury resistant. But an overall good workout, so I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.